Hi YouTube, part 11 of the narrowboat build, and what I'm doing at the minute, as you can see, is I'm just sanding down this outside of the cabin. It doesn't matter that I'm going down to metal because I've got to put a coat of grey primer on the top of it. I've already done the inside, but only with a brush paint because it's not particular problem as regards the finish on the inside. So when I've done the outside, I'll go over it with grey primer and then give it a very fine rub down, and after that it will be green, a green gloss hopefully. So what I'm using to do this sanding is not an orbital sander, it's one of these multi-tools actually. I've got the sanding attachment put on it, and rather than an orbital where the head goes round like that, this oscillates side to side in this manner. So with the orbital ones, if you go up to something like that, it will bump off because it's all the while moving out. But with this one, because it's going round like this, you can go right up to something without it bumping off. This particular one is very good. The other attachments you can get, there's saws and abrasive attachments. You can get attachments for getting grout out of tiles, but this is the only one I use at the minute. I'm using the finest grit I can find with this, but even that is a bit coarse actually, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to go over it by hand afterwards before I put the primer on anyway. So the next time I'm going to start this video, because there'll be a pause now, but the next time I start it, hopefully it will be in primer, and then green, and then transfers, and then lacquer, and then windows. So quite a bit to do, but I'm hoping to get quite a lot of that done in this video. These brackets on top of the cabin took forever to make. They're made out of brass tubing, and they will take, although they're brass at the moment, they'll be painted over, but they will take, I'll show you, brass rod which will slide in from one end, just out of shot at the minute I think, but not to worry. Two of them, one each side, and I've made it like that. I'm not going to glue them in because if I need, for a start, when I've painted it, I won't have to go round these. I can just put them in afterwards when the paint's dry, and afterwards if I need to polish them up, I just take it out, give it a polish and put it back again. What else have I got? That's the piece for the bow, which I'm sure you'll recognise. That's the piece for the stern. Bit tatty at the moment, but it'll look good when I've finished. And there's the piece for the mock sliding hatchway for the entrance. So I'll pause the video now and get on with some sanding. See you in a moment. Okay, the cabin's done in green, as you can see. It's time now to put the transfers on, which, if you remember, I mentioned in a previous video. I've printed them out, designed them on Photoshop, printed them out on that special paper that you can use for water slide transfers. When the ink was dry, gave them a coat of clear lacquer, which you have to do. I've decided just to put one transfer on each side. I've cut them out. That's what they turn out like. I've tried to get the green of the background as near as I can to the green of the cabin. It's not exact, but with the yellow border on this, it shouldn't be too far out. So it's going to go about there, and one in a similar position on the other side. But of course there's the backing paper on it, and you'll see what happens later. It might be a disaster, but we'll see. A bowl of water, cold water. What I have done as well, I thought rather than paint the front and back doors, I'll do the same thing. So I've printed out a couple of doors on a spare sheet of paper. It just looks like ordinary A4 photo paper, but it's not. It has a special layer on top with an adhesive backing which floats off in water. These have got to be lacquered yet, so I'm not doing those today. I think I've got everything ready, so I'm going to first of all put a guide layer on here, some masking tape, just to give me an eye so that I get it straight. And it's going to go, if I got a torch behind it, that would be an idea. Right, so I'll take one of my, put it in water. From the experiments I've done with small ones, I think this takes about a minute. If you leave it too long, the backing sinks to the bottom and the transparent bit, the film bit, floats off. We'll see. They curl up for a start and then gradually flatten out when they get wet. See how close that is. So I'm just pulling the backing gently away, hoping I don't tear it. Use a kitchen towel. Whoops. Whoa, it's still moving. which is good. You have to remember that this film is very thin, which it has to be, otherwise it would look wrong. I'll see if I can just straighten it up a bit. And I think that's it. That has to completely dry now, and when it's completely dry it can have a coat of clear lacquer over the top. So I've got to do the other side, but I'm not going to do the other side while that's still drying off. So that's going inside into the warm. Tomorrow morning, take a look at it. Okay, on to the next. Well, I've decided to end this video here, do the windows and doors in the next part. You see the final name of my boat, China Roses. If you happen to know where it's from, maybe you've got the same taste in music as me. Well, that's without Googling it, of course. So until part 12, bye for now and see you then.